Hello, this is another video on comparing integers. Just a few more examples. And I've already got my number line up with reminders that as we travel to the right, the numbers are getting bigger. And as we travel to the left, the numbers are getting smaller. And when we compare, we're going to use greater than and less than symbols. So if my first example, if the problem was to compare -7 and 2, and actually the problem was written kind of like this, with the space in between the two so that you could put your symbol. We're going to look at creating a number line to decide which one's bigger, which one's smaller, and so which symbol are we going to use. Now you can locate your 0 anywhere you want. I'm just going to put mine not quite in the middle, a little bit over here. And then to the right, as we saw before, is the bigger the positive number. So I'm going to label a few. You don't have to go all the way to the end. And then I'm going to do the same on the left side as the numbers are getting smaller. Remember, those are your negatives. They go in order, just like on the other side. Okay, so there's my number line. Now, if I'm going to locate the -7 and the 2, I'm going to use my highlighter. So here's my -7. There's my 2. And I'm going to label them, bigger versus smaller. Okay, so if I look at it, remember, as you go to the left, you're going smaller. Well, the -7 is the farthest one on the left, so it's the smaller one. And actually, just to save myself some time and not have to write so much, I'm going to label that with an S, as in the 7 is the smaller one, and the -2 is the bigger one. When I label the problem, I usually only bother to label the number that's on the first one, that's on the left side. So I'm going to label that the -7 is the smaller one. I'm going to use my S. So since it is the smaller one, I'm going to want to use our less than symbol so that you can read it as -7 is smaller than -2, or -7 is less than -2. But that's why I like to use those labels, smaller and bigger, and definitely label that first one because it helps you to locate which symbol that you want to use. Now I'm going to do our second example, so let me erase this around here. But I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm just going to locate my 0, and again, you can put it anywhere you want. This time I'm going to put it, let's say, over here. And I'm going to do my right side with my positive numbers in order, and my left side with my negative numbers in order. And again, you don't have to go all the way to the ends, just so that you make sure that both of your numbers are there. Okay, and I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to highlight. Highlighting and labeling is a great thing. So I'm going to highlight my -1, and I'm going to highlight my -6. And let's say the problem was written just in the order of the example where it told you to compare the -1 and the -6, and it left a space for you to put your symbols. So just like before, I'm going to label which one's the smaller one, which one's the bigger one. Well, the -6 is on the far left, and let's just remember before, as you're going to the left, it's getting smaller. So since it's on the left side, this one's the smaller one, so I'm going to put an S there. The -1 is the bigger one. And when I go down to where my problem numbers are located, I always locate the very first one on the left side. So I'm going to do the -1. The -1 is the bigger number, and you can write the B for bigger, or you can go ahead and write the whole thing. So I know that -1 is bigger than -6. So when I go up and look at my symbols, since -1 is bigger, I'm going to want to use the greater than symbol. So it really depends upon which one they put first in the problem, but using your number line can help you locate them and then label the problem and pick out which symbol that you want to use.